The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty, let all the earth rejoice, all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, darkness tries to hide and trembles at his voice, trembles at his voice. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. Age to age he stands, time is in his hands, beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The Godhead three in one, Father, Spirit, Son, the Lion and the Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. Name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart will sing, how great is our God. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see Please stand. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. Please kneel. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. O salutaris hostia, quae celi pandis hostium, bella premunt hostilia, da roba fair auxilium, unici noque Domino, sit sempiterna gloria, qui vitam sine termino, nobis donet in patria.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. When they came to the place called the Skull, they crucified him, and the criminals there, one on his right and the other on his left. Then Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, they know not what they do." They divided his garments by casting lots. The people stood by and watched. The rulers, meanwhile, sneered at him and said, "He saved others, let him save himself, if he is the chosen one, the Messiah of God." Even the soldiers jeered at him. As they approached to offer him wine, they called out, "If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself." Above him there was an inscription that read, "This is the King of the Jews." Now one of the criminals hanging there reviled Jesus, saying, "Are you not the Messiah? Save yourself and us." The other, however, rebuking him, said in reply, "Have you no fear of God? For you are subject to the same condemnation. And indeed, we have been condemned justly, for the sentence we receive corresponds to our crimes, but this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." He replied to him, "Amen, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." The gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. My name's Tom Griffin. Great to be with you. I'm the chairperson at Chaminade High School, chair of the religion department there. And I work at my parish, St. Rose of Lima in Massapequa, my home parish. I'm the director of evangelization there. My first teaching job was down here in Long Beach with the Beach Catholic team, Long Beach Catholic, and I loved it there. My class, was the second floor looking over the water year-round, which was the best teaching gig I think that I could ever have. But I love my time here. These holy hours really formed me and really inspired me when I was here. So much so that now at St. Rose, we kind of stole the script of Beach Catholic. We do holy hours every month, great lighting, great music, hopefully a decent reflection. So I'm really happy and excited to be with you guys here tonight. The gospel that I chose for tonight, I chose for a particular reason. I was thinking about what makes a great man, what's the difference between a good man and a great man. And if you're like me, these types of nights, they help inspire you to be better than you thought you could be, to be the man that you're being called to be. So what does it mean to be a great man? On the scene, Jesus is on the cross, he's dying, everybody's mocking him, they're spitting at him, they're calling him a joke. They're saying he's not who he says he is. And there's really nobody in the scene who speaks up against the mockers except for the good thief. You have Mary and John there, you have the women, but nobody speaks out against the chaos and the untruth except for the good thief. It says he rebuked the unrepentant thief. And the word for rebuke means mock. It's the same word used for the soldiers and what they say to Jesus. Basically, what he says to the unrepentant thief is, be quiet. Stop talking like that. Leave him alone. And he stands up for the truth. And my favorite story about a man, a father standing up for the truth is a story that I stole from somebody else. Just basically like all the stories that I tell. It's the best story that I ever heard. It's a true story of a husband and a wife. They get pregnant with their second child. And in the beginning of the process of going to all the doctor's appointments, they're so excited. They have a son already, and they can't wait to have another child. As they're going through the early doctor's appointments, something is revealed. In a really difficult situation with the doctor explaining it to these parents, the doctor says that your child has huge brain abnormality, lethal, probably going to kill the child before birth. If not before birth, the child will exist for maybe a few weeks. The doctor says to the husband and wife, I think you should consider alternative methods, right? Terminating the pregnancy. The husband stands up, clenches his fist, grabs his wife's hand, tells the doctor, don't you ever say that again. They leave the office, they go to their parish church, and they sit in the front pew. they sit in the front pew and they look at the cross and they make this promise to God. No matter what this child has, no matter how long we have the child, we are keeping the child, no matter what. Weeks and months go by, they continue for their appointments, some bad. About halfway through the pregnancy, a scan is read by a doctor, and a doctor comes in, and a doctor is baffled. The doctor says, "There is nothing wrong with your child." The scans they were using at the time, because this was such a long time ago, they couldn't pick up that there was 2 babies in the womb instead of 1. So the brain abnormality was actually a misreading of 2 babies. Months go by, and twin boys are born on May 25th, 1991, and I was one of them. It was me and my brother. And when my parents were pregnant with us, they thought it was 1 baby, and the doctor proposed that you can always have more children. It's okay. And the greatest thing, there's so many other details about the story that I could share and tell. The reason why I bring it up tonight, because of the good thief, he spoke up. So I love that my parents prayed for me to exist, that they chose that I would exist. But what I love even more is that my dad rebuked the doctor. It wasn't enough for my dad to just say, "We're not going to do this." He had to speak up, and he had to say, "Don't talk like that. Don't say that anymore." Great men speak up against untruth in difficult situations. The crazy part is, 32 years later, I had the opportunity to do something similar, different situation, different circumstances. I have 3 children. All right, Benedict is 4, Gabriel is 2, and I have a daughter. In January of last year, we got the news that we were pregnant. We were really, really excited. 3rd child, not gonna lie, we're like, the chaos continues, right? It's gonna be crazy, but it's gonna be great. I'm coaching basketball at the time at Chaminade. My wife goes to the first appointment, and to this day, one of my biggest regrets is choosing basketball over going to the first appointment. And I get this phone call, it's the worst phone call of my life, and I'm standing at midcourt. I pick up the phone, say, "Hey, Joe," my wife's name is Joanna. And I could tell that she's been crying. You know, my whole entire marriage with my wife, I always said to her, "We're gonna have twins." I just had this confidence, right? And she said, "Oh, stop, how are we gonna do with twins?" So the first thing she said on the phone, she said, "You got your twins. You got your twins." She said, "One of them didn't make it." And she starts crying, right? She can't even talk. So I fill the space and I say, "What about the other baby?" And she said, "It's not good. It's not good. It's probably a 50-50 chance. There's a wrinkling of the sac, and the doctor said, come back in a week. Come back in a week and you'll know if your child is alive." So my wife and I spent 6 nights, every night before we got to bed, and we got on our hands and our knees, on our faces, and we prayed, right? Like the life of our child depended on it. And we went to the sonogram the next Monday, and I remember they put, the monitor right on her right away, and I knew what to look like. I've been to so many sonograms. And as soon as they put the TV screen on, I saw this pulsating light, and the nurse said right away, that's your baby's heartbeat. We can't hear it, but we can see it. Your baby is okay. The doctor described to us that the only reason why the baby survived is because it was twins. Joanna's levels, or hormone levels, were so low, and that's why the sac was wrinkled. But since this child existed and then died, the body was still reading for twins. So the hormone levels catapulted and saved the baby. We have a picture of her, I think, Jude, right? This is Abigail. It's me holding Abigail. You could see I look terrible in that picture, right? I haven't slept for like 3 days. But that's Abigail. The name Abigail means the joy of the Father. the joy of the Father. And I can't go a day without looking at Abby, without thinking about her twin. Because I am a twin, and because when I was in my mom, it was proposed that I didn't have to exist. And because her sibling, her twin, saved her life. And when I look at her, I would never say this to my sons, it's different. It's different. Same love, but it's different because I knew I didn't have to have her. So great men speak up like my dad. They say, don't talk like that. And this situation, which was it was the worst day of my life, the worst thing that's ever happened to me in losing a child. And I've been seeing over the course of the last few years that so many people deal with this. That's why I wanted to talk about it tonight. Because the pain and sorrow is real and brutal and doesn't really go away. And great men speak up, and great men, what do? They're men of deep prayer who pray like someone's life depended on it. Who pray like their life depended on it. And this transformed and reoriented my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my kids, and my relationship with him. Because I started praying like my life depended on it. And I don't do it as much as I should. But every time I look at her, it's a reminder. Great men speak up, and great men, they pray like their life depended on it. My mom's been going through a lot of health issues. Now, my mom's, she's got a kidney disease, which is incurable. She's been hospitalized in and out. It's a long road, a lot of really difficult procedures, surgeries that she's going to need. This past September, she was hospitalized for 2 weeks. My younger brother is a cop. I'm one of 4 boys. He's a cop in the city in the 13th. He's 6'5", 280. Right? My older brother's 6'5", like 290. Me and my twin brother, I think he's here tonight, 2 of us equals 1 of them, right? They're big dudes. They're kind of scary. When my mom was in the hospital for 2 weeks, my brother had all this bent up time that he didn't use. So for 2 weeks, my brother, this 6'5", 290-pound guy, he slept in the hospital for 2 weeks every single night on some rinky-dinky chair. About 5 or 6 nights into it, my brothers and I and my dad went to him kind of individually without talking to each other and said, Ed, like, you don't have to sleep in the hospital. Like, it's okay. Like, go home and sleep. Go back to work. He wouldn't even answer us. He would just kind of look at us like this, shake his head, and walk away. The love that my younger brother has for his mom, it's relentless. It's reckless. He sacrificed sleeping, sacrificed looking bad at work for taking all his time, comfortability of his bed, everything, and he didn't have to do it. He sacrificed it to communicate to my mom, I'll do anything to show you how much I love you, even when it's not necessary. And when he was in the room and he wasn't sleeping, all he did was stare at my mom. As great men speak up, and great men, they pray like their life depended on it. And great men never take their eyes off of him, like my brother staring at his mom in a hospital bed. And tonight is our opportunity, I think, to reject being a good man and to cling to being a great man, to mirroring him. So tonight, let's make a promise. Let's make a commitment to reject being good and to be great. To be a man who speaks up against untruth when nobody will. To be a man who prays like their life depended on it. To be a man who never takes his eyes off of him, who makes his life revolve around him. There are 2 thieves on the cross. Be the good one. Forget that. Be the great one.
thousand stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Oh, and I've seen many searching for answers far and wide, but I know we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. 'Cause Lord, you are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Oh, it's love so undeniable. I can hardly speak. Peace so unexplainable. I can hardly think as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still into love. Love Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. Oh, I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it. Still, you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so Tantum ego sacramentum veneremur genui, et antiquum documentum nova cedet ritui, restet fide sui.
Guys, you can all grab a seat. I go probably about once a month. I go out to St. Anthony's High School. We kind of have like a shared chaplaincy thing now. A couple of priests that kind of take turns helping out, and so when I go, there's a mass in the afternoon. That's really kind of what I go out for. But there's very often these sophomore retreats that are happening that day. So the campus minister, who I know pretty well, he asked me if I'm able to come early on those days. There's a point where they split up the guys and the girls. So it's a sophomore class, and they're together pretty much the whole day, but then for about 20 minutes they split them up. So I'll talk to the guys, and maybe 25 or 30 of these sophomore boys. And I'll ask them what are the things your father has kind of taught you? What are some of the things that your father has sort of passed on to you guys? And usually almost right away they got an answer. If not, I'll say something, I'll suggest something, and then they kind of get going. But stuff like, my dad wrestled when he was in high school and college, and I love wrestling. I wrestle, so like he passed on love of a sport, rooting for a team, playing golf, fishing, just stuff, fun, cool stuff that a dad is just absolutely going to pass on to his boys. So it's usually kind of a quick little, and then they'll maybe talk a little bit about it. They'll give an example of, even in a little more detail, about this thing that dad has sort of passed on, shared. And then I'll ask them, I'll say, how about God? Like, how about faith? Like, has your dad done that? And almost every time I've had this experience and that question, there's just kind of nothing. There's kind of nothing. They sincerely, it seems to me, just don't really have anything to say. Which is kind of not a surprise, sadly, right? And I'll say to these guys, we're not so good with this. We're not good. Guys aren't so good at talking about God. We kind of leave that to the ladies. They seem to be better at it. They seem to be more comfortable with it. And we're just not so good. And they kind of look at me like, yeah, they don't disagree. And I'll talk a little bit about my father. And, I'll just talk about some experience and memories I have of him where faith was in the mix. I talked to them about, and I've mentioned this before, the Floral Park. When I was a kid, they had on the first Friday of every month, they had nocturnal adoration. So through the night, people would be in here before the Blessed Sacrament. And guys would take an hour through the night. So I'd say to these guys, these sophomores, it's like my dad would, he'd get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, Friday night into Saturday, and he'd walk up to Our Lady of Victory, and he'd kind of go to church. And, and as a kid, I just knew he was doing some church thing. I didn't understand it. I didn't even know what adoration was. But I knew Dad was at church at kind of a strange time. And the power of that, the critical importance of that, like kids seeing that from their fathers. They talk about these statistics and the percentage of kids in faith and kids keeping their faith, and they say when the father in the family is practicing his faith, it sort of like exponentially increases the prospect of your kid having faith as an adult. But when that's not the case with dad, it's kind of like good luck, because the kids factor that in along with the culture we're living in, and just it's like it's not probably going to happen. And I was thinking, Tom, all we do is tell stories about. You're talking about your father. You're talking about your brother. I'm talking about my father and the incredible importance of that, guys. The time you said relentless and reckless. You were describing, I think, your brother's love for your mom. But they're two great words, like relentless and reckless. Maybe guys to, in your own way, say, I gotta be relentless and kind of reckless even with passing this on to our kids. Like being this firewall against the culture that just thinks God is a joke. So I think the stories are incredibly important. They're just, if it happens to be your father, man, how lucky you are, right? So, a long-winded way, Tom, of just saying thanks for kind of telling the stories and kind of setting a great example. I was also thinking, so Tom, like he said, he's worked down here. Mike, his brother, they're the twins. Mike still works down here. Your description of the two of you being in the womb and there being just one example of brain power, that explains a lot about your brother now. I'm thinking something was going on there. So thanks for your great faith and your great example. Kids at Chaminade are really lucky. Teresa up top, is there any better singer in the diocese? So Teresa, thanks for great music. And then just kind of the usual thank yous, the team, the crew, Jordan and Joe and John and Jude up top. Guys, thanks for just kind of the setup and the lighting and all the great stuff that makes these nights so good. We got something to eat in the rectory, guys. We got some wings and some sandwiches. Bright Eye, thanks to Bright Eye, they provided us a little keg of some of their beer. So come on in for a drink. At the doors of the church, we got the baskets. We're always asking you guys to throw us a few bucks if you can to pay for the night. And more than anything, just thanks for being here and for your presence. Why don't we'll do one more song and make your way to the rectory. You can kind of go in this way where Joe is, and then head that way. You probably know how to go. See you in a few. Hey, and thanks to for Wade for serving. Way to go, Wade. Thanks, Wade. Good job. Could all stand?